Police announced recent arrests over suspected illegal betting at Happy Valley. New British Prime Minister Andy Burnham reveals his cabinet lineup. And Donald Trump hits Canada with new tariffs. Hello and welcome to RTHK's Evening News. I'm Melissa Gecolea. Police say they arrested 7 people earlier this month for suspected illegal betting and bookmaking at Happy Valley Racecourse. Chief Inspector Lo Kin Pong said officers suspected an illegal bookmaking ring was operating within the racecourse. 7 men, including 6 mainland visitors, were arrested on a race night. Lo said they drew suspicion after regularly reserving seats in relatively secluded sections of the grandstand. Police say that during an anti-triad operation, they also busted a suspected gambling den set up in a flat in North Point, complete with baccarat and mahjong tables. A Hong Kong woman has reportedly been killed in a road accident in Furano in northern Japan, while 3 family members were injured. The accident is the second in the popular Hokkaido tourism destination involving SAR tourists in 5 days. Local media say the latest crash happened yesterday afternoon, with the rental car of a family of 4 from the SAR apparently veering into the opposite lane and colliding head-on with another vehicle. A 53-year-old Hong Kong woman was later pronounced dead, while the 52-year-old male driver and 2 teenage girls in the back were injured. 2 people in the other car were also hurt. The annual book fair wrapped up in Wan Chai this afternoon, with vendors offering deep discounts on the final day, hoping to clear out their inventory. The Trade Development Council says nearly 1 million people turned up during the week-long event. Raymond Young reports.
Book lovers streamed into the Convention and Exhibition Center in Wan Chai, hoping to snap up good deals. Most vendors offered straight-up price cuts or bulk purchase discounts. Many attendees were well prepared, lugging trolleys and even suitcases. With weeks of summer holiday coming up, parents were out shopping for supplementary exercises for their children. But this honest boy said he planned to spend $300 on comic books. When asked why he wasn't getting any exercise books,
"No, I don't want to. I don't have to, because my grades are fine."
Another student had no choice, with his mother already picking up 4 supplementary exercises shortly after arriving at the venue.
Not happy. Summer breaks are for relaxing, not doing supplementary exercises.
Detective and mystery novels were another popular choice among children, including Sherlock Holmes and Charlie the Ninth. Publishers said their discounts were consistent throughout the 7-day fair.
I think because of the rain on the first and second day, sales were down by a bit, but the weather improved and people started showing up again.
Raymond Yang, RTHK News.
Britain's new Prime Minister Andy Burnham has wasted little time since taking the top job, stamping his authority with a cabinet shakeup. Azam Khan reports.
After becoming Britain's 7th Prime Minister in a decade, Andy Burnham pledged to reshape the country's politics and revive a nation fed up with a revolving door of leaders. Energy Minister Ed Miliband was promoted.
It's the honour of my life to have been asked by the Prime Minister to be the Foreign Secretary of our country.
As Britain's top diplomat, Miliband will have to deal with a raft of complex issues, including balancing British interests with US policy under Donald Trump and handling the crisis in the Middle East. Former Health Minister Wes Streeting takes over the defense portfolio. He resigned in May, saying he had lost confidence in then-Premier Keir Starmer. Streeting had intended to challenge Burnham for the leadership of the ruling Labour Party before backing down. In a surprise move, John Healey was appointed Chancellor, replacing Rachel Reeves. He had resigned as Starmer's defense chief after demanding more money for the military. The former trade union strategist now holds the second most senior role in British politics, living next door to Burnham in Downing Street and wielding influence across the British government. In a post on Truth Social platform, U.S. President Donald Trump said he had a very good conversation with the new British Premier, adding that they would be meeting in the not-too-distant future. Azam Khan, RTHK News.
U.S. President Donald Trump has slapped 50% tariffs on a range of goods imported from Canada. He says the move is in retaliation for what he calls unequal treatment when it comes to U.S. cars and other products. Azam Khan again.
The tariffs take effect in 30 days and cover various items, including wine, hockey sticks, and cement. The U.S. Trade Representative's office says the levies will apply to nearly $20 billion of imports from Canada. According to U.S. Census Bureau data, that's equal to about 5% of the $382 billion worth of goods that the United States imported from Canada last year. Donald Trump has invoked a section of the Tariff Act of 1930, which permits a president to impose punitive tariffs of up to 50% against trading partners deemed to have discriminated against U.S. goods. It marks the law's first known usage in nearly a century. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney is accusing Trump of violating the North American Trade Pact, saying his government has made comprehensive proposals to resolve trade disputes with Washington. Trump's latest actions could further strain ties with the second largest U.S. trade partner, coming just days after he threatened Canada with increased tariffs over wildfire smoke that spilled over to the U.S. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says it's unacceptable that Trump still wants to tariff Canada rather than help the country.
You got to remind President Trump that there's 3.9 million acres burning in the United States right now. And if we had resources, we would send them down to our closest friends and allies. So, you know something, rather than criticize and threaten Canada, your closest friends, maybe one day you're going to need our help like you did last year, and we deployed the people. I get frustrated just listening to that bunch of rubbish.
In announcing the new tariffs, the White House said Canada was one of only 2 countries to retaliate against Trump's levies last year, the other being China. Azam Khan, RTHK News.
Iran has targeted U.S. radar and air defense installations in the Gulf, warning Washington of more decisive and powerful attacks to come. The U.S. earlier launched strikes on Iran for a 10th straight night. Natalie Ching has the details.
The U.S. military has released more footage of its forces launching what it says is the latest round of precision strikes against Iran. It says it targeted military command centers, maritime assets, missile and drone launch sites, and air defense systems. Iran replied with its own wave of airstrikes. The Revolutionary Guards say they hit air defense systems and a radar installation at 2 U.S. military bases in Bahrain, as well as missile defense, radar, and satellite systems in Kuwait. The latest American raids came after U.S. President Donald Trump threatened that Iran would pay many times over for every American soldier killed. At least 3 U.S. soldiers have been killed in the conflict in recent days. Iran, meanwhile, warned that any U.S. ground invasion would be doomed. Tehran also denounced the destruction of non-military sites.
We unequivocally condemn the attacks on civilian infrastructure, medical facilities, bridges, and essential installations on which people's daily lives depend. No political or military claims can excuse the suffering of a child waiting for treatment in a hospital, or the anguish of a family whose city's vital bridge has been destroyed. These are not merely attacks on buildings. They are wounds inflicted on the collective conscience of the Iranian people.
Despite the escalation in hostilities, Baghai indicated that diplomacy is continuing behind the scenes, with mediators conveying messages to Tehran. Natalie Ching, RTHK News.
The small South American country of Guyana is in mourning following the capsizing of a ferry that killed at least 27 people. As Priscilla Ng reports, officials say a thorough probe will be carried out to find out what caused the tragedy.
The MV Barima, built in 1939, was carrying 133 people from the capital Georgetown to the northwest village of Port Khatuma when it overturned late on Saturday. Almost 70 people were rescued, but dozens of passengers remain unaccounted for. Guyana's president said the tragedy has left the country in grief, anxiety, and sorrow. He stressed all-out efforts are underway to find those missing.
I wish to assure every citizen that we are sparing no effort in this ongoing rescue and recovery mission. Every available asset is being deployed. Every agency is working around the clock. We will continue this effort with determination and resolve until every possible avenue has been exhausted.
It was revealed that 2 crew members aboard the aging ferry tested positive for marijuana after the incident. Ali stressed a comprehensive probe will be launched.
I also assure the nation that there will be a full, thorough, and independent investigation into this tragedy. The families affected, and indeed the people of Guyana, deserve answers. They deserve to know precisely what transpired and whether any failures contributed to this heartbreaking event.
Priscilla Ng, RTHK News.
Back locally, typhoon season is upon us, with several expected to hit Hong Kong in the coming months. On the mainland, some people are taking no chances and are getting themselves training on how to cope when massive storms hit. Jamie Clark reports.
34-year-old Huang Zhen shut his cafe for a day earlier this month to be buffeted by powerful winds and surging water, training for extreme weather events that are increasingly affecting China and elsewhere. Huang was one of a dozen people attending a session at this disaster simulation training centre in Hangzhou. For 1,599 yuan a day, it offers a realistic experience of what it's like to be caught up in a typhoon or a flash flood.
Over
the last 2 years, the weather has become increasingly unpredictable. An opportunity like this gives us a better idea of what different levels of disasters might actually be like, and helps raise our awareness of disaster preparedness.
The centre says it's the first of its kind in the world to provide typhoon training. Its simulated experience generates wind speeds of up to 165 kilometres per hour, alongside torrential rain. In a separate section, 900 metric tons of surging water are unleashed to mimic mountain flooding. Meanwhile, participants are also made to wade through thigh-deep, sometimes shoulder-deep water in a mock urban environment. The centre says with climate change increasingly exposing the world to destructive weather events, there's a need for people to be extra vigilant.
Stay aware of your surroundings. Don't close your eyes or shut yourself off from what's happening around you just because there's strong wind and heavy rain. That's the wrong thing to do. In those situations, you need to be even more alert and keep observing what's around you.
But, as you might expect, Huang's top tip for surviving a typhoon is to not go outside if possible. Jamie Clark, RTHK News.
And a look at the weather. The current temperature at the observatory is 29 degrees Celsius, with relative humidity at 84%. And over the next few days, we'll have a few showers tomorrow, but also some sunny periods. And finally tonight, Madrid was turned into a sea of red and yellow as an estimated 2 million people gathered in the city center to celebrate Spain's World Cup victory. The winning players paraded through the streets in an open-top bus and were greeted by ecstatic crowds. We'll leave you with some of the highlights of the celebration. Thanks for watching and have a good evening.
¡Ahí está!
音樂如夢似詩。